Good morning everyone, back in the kitchen today, back in here from yesterday's video. Just started sheeting up everything, putting some of this tape and drape down. Easy mask, thought I said Elon Musk then. Easy mask. My eye quickly looked at it and I thought it said Elon Musk, so used to seeing his name written down. I thought surely he's not into decorators tape as well, is he? But anyway, yeah, I'm just putting that down, and I've just taken off some of the cornice along the top there of that deeper bit. I don't really need to do it there, that one there. I can reach over that with my trowel. Same with that little one, I can reach over the top of that. But that one, and most definitely that one, I've took the cornice off, which is in the garden, ready to plonk back on. So yeah, just a few screws on top and it makes life easier. It's not so bad on the shallow units, but when you've got to lean right back on the back of these units, you want your arm to get right in as much as you possibly can actually. So I'm just going to carry on sheeting up. I'm going to see if I can whiz this housing off of there so I can plaster right up to that. And I shall come back to you once this is all sheeted. I bought a roll of this yesterday. I've not used this one before. It's a screw tool station. I think Pinnacle is Tool Station's own make, isn't it? Like a floor protector. So we'll see if it's any good or if it's just like putting a bit of cling film on the floor and it all starts to wrap up on itself. Usually I buy the better one, you know, like the actual prop-off stuff, the roll and stroll, whatever it's called, but this was only a tenner and it's just for this kitchen floor, so thought I'd give it a try. So if you're interested in seeing how that comes out, stick with the video, because I know this stuff can be a real pain to put down if you're not used to it. There's a bit of a knack to laying this out. It's like trying to wrap a big sandwich up in cling film, and we all know how much fun that is. So anyway, I shall carry on with the sheeting. That come off quite alright. Sometimes they can be buggers, depends who's put it in before and how they've bodged the screws in, but that seemed like quite a good one. So this is what I like to use, this masking stuff on the roll. I've allowed the price for this job to completely cover everything up, because it did say it wasn't decorating, so it's about 5, 6, 7 quid a roll of this stuff, but it's a godsend really, especially when you're doing this sort of stuff. So I'll just show you how this works. If you've not seen this stuff, I'll just show you. Instead of buying, you know, like just the polythene sheet, you know, which you've got to undo and unroll, and it can be a bit of a pain, but this is good stuff, watch. So it's obviously already got masking tape attached to it. So what that does is, once you've got it up, this is all wrapped up in itself, so it will come right down. And the sort of static which is within it almost makes it want to stick to the surface it's on. So you can get various lengths of drop. I mean, you can get like 2.4 meters if you're doing a whole wall. You can bring it right down to the floor if you need to. So that's how that works. So I'm just going to go around and do that across all the cupboards, all the fridge and stuff. I know it looks a bit overkill. I'm not going to be that messy, but there's always a drip in there, so you might as well just catch them, especially on this sort of stuff. If you get plaster on this sort of stuff and wipe it, it just goes into the grain of the metal, so easy just to do this really. So the customer doesn't want to paint this blue wall again. I think they've painted that, they don't want to do it. So I'm going to go along the top with this low tack frog tape, which is the yellow one in the frog tape range. I'm going to go along the top with that first. Then I'll put that tape and drape stuff on top of that, because the tape on the drape stuff, the blue tape, is a bit too strong and it will pull the paint back off along that line. So with some delicate surface tape first, fingers crossed, you can never guarantee it, but you've got a lot more chance of that not pulling the tape off. When you're over skimming this, and obviously you're doing what I'm doing, you're putting the tape along, don't put your tape right up to that ceiling line. Leave it down like 3-4 mil, because when you skim that, if your tape's touching the ceiling, when you pull that tape off, you're going to start pulling out that line of plaster, which again completely undoes what you're trying to do, because then you'd have to start filling that. I stopped there for a minute. I got off my hop up and I had a bucket of water there from yesterday. Kicked the bucket of water over. Just caught it, lost about a quarter of it. So I had to quickly run and get the mop out. What a winkle. Now let me show you this as regards to lights. Hold on, I'll turn you around. Now obviously these lights have got these little grub screws there that I've just taken out of this one. And what happens is when you take them down and then you plaster, you're going to put your few mil skim on, and that grub screw will not line up with that again, because you're trying to push the edge of this framing up to ceiling, which is now lower, and then the holes will not meet. So you're gonna have to bring this down as well. So always just loosen these off and skim under them. I'm sure most people would anyway, but it's easy to forget these little things. So just undo them. I will take this light down in a minute actually. I always undo them and then look at the wiring situation. This is quite easy, it's just got through little sort of chop block things. And then, yeah, you can just get your plaster under that, and then that should be at the depth to house that again. But yeah, quite simple, like 1, 2, 3, just to undo. So I'll turn the electric off and get these down. And you know what, I always take a photo of this, because it's so easy to think, oh yeah, blue, brown, yellow, that was there, that was there, that was there. And when you go to put them back, for some reason, it isn't what you thought, or you know, you've forgotten. So I always take pictures of these, maybe 2 or 3 pictures from angles. So you're never going to get that wrong. I've done that before. I've taken stuff down and thought, oh yeah, that's easy. There. And then when you go to wire it up, it's not that obvious. And then you're in all sorts of bother. Then you don't know if you're going to blow things or what. So always my tip, take photos of any wiring that you're undoing, obviously unless you're an electrician. And then You don't need my tips. So I'm about to test this product out now. Never used this one before. It's from Toolstation. It's the Pinnacle Pink Surface Protection Film for floors. The protection surface, I suppose it's for floors. Suitable for use on hard surfaces such as worktops, tiles, sinks and doors. Doesn't say floors, but it must lay on the floor. So we've got a hard tile floor here, so we'll try that. Right, let's have a go at this. Well, that ain't bad. It's gone down on the floor. Seems to have stuck. It's not that sticky. I suppose it won't be if they're sort of selling it for it to stick onto worktops and things. They're not going to want you to start pulling laminate off. So it's not that sticky. We'll see how it lasts on the floor. It might start coming up underneath me, but feels all right. And get your floor swept up. The last thing you want to be doing now is putting PVA up there, which could drip down now. Then you're building up a nice little pasty slush, and then you're going to start skimming up there, which is going to fall down there. And before you know it, you've got it all in your boots. You're walking it everywhere. So first job after scraping down, always sweep it up. You haven't got to so much pick it up, just get it in the corner out of the way. Then start your PVA in and put the kettle on, most importantly. I've been here about 2 hours, I haven't even had a cup of tea yet. So, ceiling's all scraped, tea is made, most importantly. And I'm just mixing up some PVA and I'm going to practice what I preach. I made a video a couple of months ago now about dyeing your PVA, because I know you've got the we've got some different colour grits and things like that, and Kirk Johnston, who's another plasterer, has brought out his own range of pink SBR, which is good. I've bought it and I've used it, but it's not really available on the shelves. It's obviously an order to be delivered, and sometimes you need things now, like I do. So what I did in one video, I tested with some red brick dye. I put that in with PVA, stirred it up, it went nice and pink, painted it on, and Bob's your uncle. And then what I did, I put a bit of it on plasterboard, plastered over it, let that dry, then painted on it, just to make sure that none of this brick dye would start bleeding through the plaster into the paint. And it didn't, all worked out well. So I'm gonna show you on this ceiling. So you don't need loads of it really, because it's really strong, this stuff. It's a real strong pigment, I suppose it is. Need a bit more than that though. This is only cheap, it'll go for miles. Give it a good old stir up. If you can see that, how's that camera angle doing? I'll try. Just keep stirring it, stirring it. eventually we're going to get a nice pinky colour. You can go as deep as you want with it really. The more you add, the more red it's going to go, but we just want a tinge really, just so we know where we've been. Anyway, I'll keep stirring it and I'll show you once it's on the ceiling. It works well. There was only a couple of tablespoonfuls in that PVA mix, and you can see how it just turns the PVA into something you can really see. There we go, that has all had 2 coats, maybe more in some places, of the PVA with the red brick dye in it, which is there. It works an absolute treat. So that's all done. There's a couple of cracks in this ceiling, got a big one there. Got a big one there coming off, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut some render mesh and bed that in. I'm not just going to put normal scrim on that. I'll cut a bit of render mesh, maybe about sort of 8 inches wide, and bed that across there. And there's obviously something going on there, but I'm not going to start trying to attempt to put screws and things through that, because again, I don't know what's underneath that. I've had a leak already from above, from the shower. So I'm not going to try and put anything across it. I'm just going to bridge it with some big thick mesh, and I'll go around and look for other cracks while I do that. But now I'm just going to let that take, sort my buckets out and get a mix on. Right, all mixed up, and then bigger cracks are going to get some of this render mesh across them, so I'll do that first. Right, first coat all on. That's fallen down, bloody thing. A couple of splashes of heat and just pulled it, so I'm not going to attempt to start sticking that up now, just be careful. Yeah, so first coat all on, just flattening it off, and then I'll see how that goes. I'll put that on really thick actually. I mixed it up quite tight and went over it because this ceiling, I don't know if you can see from what I've been showing you, but the ceiling is quite up and down, so I've put a real thick one on, and then I'll stick another sort of normal sort of coat on, try and get it as flat as possible. Wasn't too bad, getting under there, reached quite well. So let's clean the bucket up and have another mix. So nearly finished now. I've not filmed too much of it really. This ceiling is quite low when I stand on there, and I kept hitting my head on this camera's on the strap on my head, so a bit annoying. So I think you saw me getting the first coat, or maybe the 2 coats on under a time lapse, and then trailed it all up. The ceiling was everywhere, all over, so the eagle-eyed of you might have seen that I was putting it on with, well, I put the first coat on with my normal Marshalltown. Then I flattened it off with, where's that gone? With my Rafina Plasiflex, and I might put it back in the van. And I laid on again with the Rafina Plasiflex because the ceiling is up and down, and I put the first coat on so thick that a normal rigid trowel would have just kept digging into you know, what I'd put on, because it was a bit wavy. So obviously with the Rafina it doesn't cut in as much, so you can get that second coat on quickly because it sort of glows over the top. It's quite hard to explain if you're not using them really, but there's no way that ceiling was ever going to get dead flat. So I just persisted with the Rafina, and then I ended up polishing with the trusty old Nella Black. It's got a flex in it. Nella Black, sound like silly black. Yes, it's got a bit of flex in it, and just polish with that really, which I'm just gonna give it one more really, just to finish off this job. So I've put all the cornices back on the tops, put the lights back on, put the vent cover back on. And just a quick polish really, there's not a lot to do. A couple of little lines I can see here and there, but nothing right major. That ceiling had a great big dip when I put my tape along it. It sort of went from there It opened up to about 1/2 inch before it closed up again, and so I've sort of got that fairly level now, really. Yeah, quite a lot of gear on it, really, quite thick. But I say, once it's all decorated, it will look fine, I suppose. Little bits of chop back behind there. I'll get a little trail on there in a minute. Other than that, yeah, it's not bad, not bad. And sometimes you do get these low spots where you can still see a little bit of the artex. I mean, that'll disappear once the paint's on it, but sometimes you can't cover them all because you've got these low spots. You end up coming so far up and down. I mean, I daren't put a level on this ceiling. You can see the remnants of the render mesh just there. They're not. There's no texture of them, but you can see where they're drying. So that was a big low spot. I don't even think that needs anything else really. A couple of little bits there where it's just I've troweled it, but just, yeah, nothing to do really. It's all good. Once they get there, a big fluffy roller and a big solid emulsion and slap that on there, all your good work's gone, hasn't it, really? Like that. I'll give the walls a little wipe as I go after. Go along with a cloth. But other than that, yeah, it's a nice line across there. Mop the floor, hoover up, wipe the sides down. That's all good. Yeah, a little line there, polish out. Okay, so I'm going to start clearing up in here now, so I'll turn this off and talk to you later. My hoover can handle anything, isn't that right, Charles?
Yes, when are we going to get something nice like a piece of cake or Snickers?
He really is the king of hoovers. All finished, all cleared up. All wiped down. That stuff was good on the floor. I like that, it's good. That Pinnacle stuff, it's only cheap. A tenner a roll, it's not bad really. Yeah, so all done. It's a lot of clearing up in it when you're plastering like that, especially when you're on your own. It's alright if you've got someone else with you, you can sort of get ahead on the clearing up, so by the time you finish plastering you're just walking out the door. But when you've got to do it all, it is a lot. People sometimes think you just walk in and chuck a dust sheet down, mix up a bucket of plaster and off you go, but it's not like that, as you know. It's all preparation. I mean, it's 3:30 now. I got in here at 8. With all the preparation I had to do, I didn't start plastering till about 11:30. I put the first lot on. So 11:30, 12, 1, 2, 3. So that's 4 hours, which is about right really, including the clear up. It's alright, there's a plane going overhead. So yeah, that's it now. That's me done in this house. It's every ceiling I've done in here now, finished. So I may not be back to this one unless they have any sort of leaks or anything again. But they do their own decorating and their own bits and pieces. I think the lad's dad is sort of quite handy, so they won't need me for anything else. So that's this one done, put to bed. Tomorrow I shall be out and about looking at jobs. I've got a couple of jobs to look at tomorrow, and I've got to meet a builder that got in touch with me that started to do sort of bathroom conversions and things like that, and he just wants a regular plasterer. So I'm either meeting him tomorrow or Thursday, so I might take you out with me, but I'm going to go home now, sit and edit this, and I'll catch up with you all soon. Take care.